Hi, I'm Cancerian Empath, and I'm just pretty much here to talk for a little while. Uh, it's been about a month since I've done my last video, and it has everything to do with a spiritual transformation that I'm going through, and it hasn't been easy. Um, yeah, that's the only way I could describe it, is that it hasn't been easy. It seemed like so many things at once just hit me, and I needed to deal with them. Sometimes when spirit tells you to take a rest, we had this idea in our head because of our own earthly schedule of how long we feel that rest should be. And the bottom line is, spirit had been telling me for at least 2 months straight that I needed to take a rest, that I needed to go sit down somewhere, and I wasn't listening. I would tell myself things like, okay, I'll listen to spirit, I'll take a rest for 2 days, and then I'm back at it. But it just so happened that spirit had other plans, and he felt like, oh, so you think you gonna do what I feel is necessary for you spiritually to do your way? Okay, no. You're gonna see that when I say take a rest, I mean take a rest. You get off the rest when I say you get off the rest. So, with that, explained, you now know why I've been gone for a month. I've been going through a few things that I would like to share with you, because about 4 or 5 months ago, when I first started this channel, I told you that my life was an open book and that I would share some things with you as time went on, and that time is now. So I want to do that, and towards the end, I will pull some oracle cards for all the elements: earth, fire, air, and water. And that'll pretty much wrap everything up. But I needed to talk about some things because I've been kind of closed off lately and haven't really, I wouldn't say had anyone to talk to, but because of the so-called friendship clearing that spirit has been doing in my life, right now I'm in a place where I really don't know who to trust, who to tell things in the strictest of confidence, who to bare my soul to about what I've been going through. So I just kind of been to myself, closed off, not telling anybody anything, and it's time. So I'm going to start, if you don't mind, from the very beginning. And in order to do that, I have to go back about 3 years to when my son got killed. That was a very painful time for me. I remember contemplating suicide a lot, and when those lower entities start to speak to you when you're feeling down, first of all, I need to tell you that they wait until you feel down to pounce on you. They don't jump on you when you're feeling good. So I need you out there who do follow my channel to know and understand this. It doesn't come at you. Life doesn't really come at you when you're up most times. It usually waits until you're down, and then it kicks you when you're down. So one of the things that I've been going through is trying to avoid the grief over my son, and that was one of the main things that prompted spirit to let me know that I needed to take a rest. And the reason why I needed to rest when it came to that was so that I can actually sit still long enough to allow myself to grieve. My son passed away September 18th, 2016. He was 24 years old. He had committed a crime and went to jail for that crime when he was 18 years old. He came out 6 years later at 24, and 2 weeks after he came out, he was murdered. He was shot twice in the back and once in the butt by an off-duty court officer. I won't say the court officer's name, and I will get to that later. But and if I'm not able to get to it later, I will get to it in another video. But for now, I just needed to get that out. So fast forward a little, 7 months after I made a conscious decision not to kill myself, and one of the ways that I kept hearing to kill myself was not to cut myself, not to stab myself, take any pills, shoot myself. The voice in my head always told me to jump. And I contemplated that every day, every single day for about 7 months. And then one day I was in my room and I decided to pray. And I said, and this is because at that particular time, I say I decided to pray is because after my son was killed, I didn't believe in God anymore. I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in any kind of religion. It could have been Buddhism. It could have been Scientology. It could have been any kind of spiritual practice. I just didn't believe in anything because it just felt like I had already had a horrible life growing up, you know. And some people think that you have to be down in the dirt to have a horrible life. But I didn't have the greatest life in the world. But as I got older and started to have kids, one of my biggest fears was to lose one of my children. And I believe today, now that I'm really looking back on it, I really believe today that sometimes I think to myself that maybe I manifested that with my thoughts, because that was always a big fear of mine. So when it happened, it was like, wow, you know, and that caused me to develop an anger towards God, you know, and it didn't help that after my son passed away, there were quite a few people that I thought were my friends, that I thought would be there for me, actually were not there for me. And that was another blow on top of being in a relationship at the time that was growing increasingly toxic before my son even passed away. Through no fault of my own, of course, and this person used to make it very clear that it wasn't my fault. And I knew this. But, you know, losing my son, not having a good relationship, and that relationship actually ending on top of being extremely depressed. I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in God's any kind of spirituality. I just wanted to be left alone. I didn't want to hear none of that. People used to tell me to pray, and I would want to just tell them to shut up, really, you know. But I would just listen long enough for them to actually shut up, and eventually they would shut up, and I would go back to being my usual angry self. So fast forward a year and a half later, I run into someone who I found out. I run into someone a year and 7 months later that I've known for years. I've known her for about 17 or 18 years. Not really a good friend, but somebody I was pretty cool with. We would say hello and goodbye to each other when we would see each other. He would flirt a little bit, and I would dismiss his flirting like, you know, boy, please, you know. Because back then I thought he was significantly younger than me, and I don't know about nobody else, but I don't play that Chester molester shit. Sorry, not me. So I run into this man. I hadn't seen him in a few years. And the minute I looked at him, I was stuck. And I don't just mean through eye contact. I mean something in me just came back alive after being, or should I say feeling dead inside for a year and 7 months. You know, not wanting to eat, not wanting to sleep, not wanting to talk to anybody, not wanting to call anybody, not wanting to hang out with friends. I didn't want to do anything but just lay in my bed, watch Investigation Discovery or Family Guy, and be depressed. I would get up long enough to take a shower, maybe get a cup of coffee, and it was back in the bed I go. I would shower and change into different pajamas and go lay down. So, to run into this man and to physically and emotionally come back alive was something that I actually needed. So I run into this person a year and 7 months after my son passes away in May, the end of May 2018. By October, I not only discovered that I was a twin flame, but that I was also in love. How the hell it happened, I couldn't tell you, because there was really nothing to be in love with this man. If you knew him then, when I ran into him, he was a dog, he was a liar, a cheater, and all those things eventually took a toll on my life, so the situation between he and I went from a really high to a plummeting low emotionally. And I found myself being right back to where I started from with depression. And the reason I felt like that was because this person appeared in the beginning to be on the up and up, and it didn't help that I wasn't paying attention to the red flags. I wasn't, and there were definitely red flags there, and I just chose to ignore them. And some of the red flags included just letting me know from the very beginning when I asked him, what do you want? And he said, friendship. Now, as soon as he said friendship, the first thing that hit my mind was, oh boy, but here I go with my I can change him mentality that I know a lot of people have, thinking that I was going to change him, and that didn't happen. In fact, the more I tried to change him, the more he rebelled, and the worse he wanted to act towards me, the worse he wanted to be when it came to sleeping with different women. And this man slept with a lot of women. I mean, it was a lot of traffic in and out of his life when it came to these women. And, that shit bothered me. It really bothered me. So, I run into this man in May. By July, actually, he put a picture of himself on Facebook, and he hashtagged it, and it was hashtag snack, and I wrote at the bottom yes with the wink emoji, and the next thing I know, I'm getting a friend request from who I found later on was his wife. So that was a blow to my self-esteem and to what I believed was my man, and only to find out that he was somebody else's man. It wasn't the easy thing in the world to find out, so that double depression of the grief over my son, coming out of that depression and feeling like I was alive again, to back down to depression again, just didn't really do much for my self-esteem. That shit took away my self-esteem. It took away my confidence. It took away my motivation to go to work. It took my motivation away to clean my house, do my laundry, and those are all the things that I was going through after I found out my son died. So to climb out of that and then be kicked back into that was a blow to my system. So you figure October is when I found out that I was a twin flame, and I began to go through this journey of transformation of self, consisting of no longer doing some of the things wrong that I was doing, or thinking some of the negative ways that I was thinking. It sounds like going through a transformation is easy, but it is not. When you find out that you have a spiritual connection to somebody, and just for those who are not twin flames, it literally feels like a spiritual marriage, which will explain why a lot of twin flames don't get married, because they already feel married. And twin flames, when they get married, normally, from my observation, is to shut both sides of the family up and to just really just do it the right way. So for me, with this connection, it was so intense and it was so spiritual that even though I would say yes, marriage was the last thing on my mind, because for some reason, and I couldn't understand because I was still early in my journey, this person felt like my husband. And to date, he still feels that way. Um, I'm not as hung up on the union as I once was, though I would still like it. And the reason why I'm no longer hung up on the union is because in that time and finding out that I was a twin, the work on myself spiritually began immediately. And truth be told, without my permission, I didn't ask to change. I was cool with the way that I was, and it was like, what is all this? How come I no longer want to be a certain way no more? I didn't get what was going on. So I began to Google, uh, ask questions about a twin flame journey. And in asking questions, I found out that some of my closest friends, people that I've known for years, were also twin flames. And my whole question was, well, how come nobody told me about this journey? And as I go through this journey, I'm beginning to find out that the reason why you don't tell nobody is because when you do try to tell somebody, people think you're crazy. And truth be told, when you explain the twin flame journey, it does sound crazy. People do look at you like you may need to take somebody's antidepressant, or psychotropic medicine. It does sound crazy. When I was reading whatever I Googled, it seemed crazy. What I was reading was crazy to me. And I'm like, I've been on this earth for 47 years and I've never heard of this journey before in my life. So it even took a little convincing for me, actually, to believe in this journey. And the reason why I began to believe in this journey is because in the process of this journey, I also became addicted to watching tarot videos. But the addiction actually turned out to be beneficial to me because it awakened some things in me that I didn't know that I was there. It actually heightened a gift that I choose to call a gift, but really it's called a psychic ability. And I've been this way my entire life, since I was a child, as far back as I could remember. I remember as a small child getting downloads and seeing things in my head happen, and then a couple of weeks later, or a few days, or even sometimes a few hours later, those things would happen. And for years, I was afraid of that gift. I thought, I convinced myself for years that it was just a coincidence. And then as I became a teenager, the downloads became more frequent. And now that I'm looking back at it, the synchronicities and numbers that I see all day, every day now, I used to see one in particular back then at 12, 13, and 14 years old. And that number was 238. And it was so crazy because I would go to a supermarket and get groceries and it would ring up 238. My junior high school that I went to was IS 238 in Queens in New York. I would look at the time on the clock twice, and for a while, twice a day, it would say 238. And I never really thought anything about it. I just noted, but I did notice that I saw that number all the time, and I didn't understand why. And I was a teenager. I wasn't going to try to make sense of it either. We didn't have the tools to back then that we have now, like Google, and otherwise I probably would have Googled it and asked what the number 238 means, because all these numbers mean something. But I went on with my life, and that was just the end of that. But I want to get back on this twin flame journey and what it has brought about in my life. And one of the things that I noticed started happening was things started to disappear in my life. See, when you're going through a spiritual transformation and you do what I did, which was pray after my son was killed for a do-over with my life, needless to say, I don't think I really understood what I was asking, because not too long after that, everything just started to go downhill. I had a small cleaning business, and I just noticed that my clients started falling off one by one. Two moved out of state. The other one more ended up getting a house and a wife who was a compulsive neat freak. So of course, they no longer needed my services because she was doing all the cleaning. And I decided to get a job working at a hotel. And it just seemed like once I discovered this man and this journey, all the things that I was comfortable with and used to started to fall out of my life. First the cleaning business I noticed, then my relationship with my former landlord and his girlfriend. That's a whole nother video. Let's just say that relationship ended up with a fist fight and a night in jail. And it was like groups of us. It was my family and her. My former landlord's girlfriend. Everybody ended up spending the night in jail, and I ended up being behind in my rent. I ended up losing the job at the hotel because I was just so mentally and emotionally tired on it all the time, on top of doing doubles and overtime, that when I was finally done with my work detail one night, I fell asleep in one of the bathrooms, and the person who wanted me out of there walked in on it and saw me sleeping, and they went and told, and I went home, and that person my boss called me and told me not to come back in. I started losing friendships, people that I knew for many, many years, people that I considered ride or dies, was suddenly showing their true colors, and I just made a conscious decision. Okay, yeah, you gotta go. And that's how things have been going for the last couple of years. I mean, I'm at a place now where I feel like if I need to get rid of anybody else, I don't know what it's gonna do to me, because I've lost some very significant people in my life. But I'm also starting to notice that they're being replaced with new people, and my energy is actually lighter. I'm not getting phone calls by gossipers and energy vampires wanting to talk about everybody and, kick dirt on people's names and argue and fight. And it's just my energy became lighter, and that I am grateful for. Another thing that I ended up becoming forced to deal with is childhood traumas. I have several things that happened in my childhood: rapes, molestations, verbal abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse at times, and just not a good life and a good upbringing for a child. Living in poverty, living in the ghetto, where everybody was a drug dealer, alcoholic, and then as the 80s came along, crackheads, just insanity that no kid should have to be exposed to. I was exposed to it. So, needless to say, by the time I turned a teenager, I was violent, angry, always fighting, always getting suspended. I didn't have a very good relationship with my mother, and whereas I used to blame her for everything, today I'm accountable for a lot of the things that went wrong in the relationship between myself and my mother. I'm totally accountable, to the point where I tried to apologize to my mother one last time, and she just had to shut me down and let me know you don't have to keep doing that. Let's just move forward. So, I roll with that. All there were things in my childhood that were great and are terrible now, and then there's some things that were terrible back then that are great now. So this transformation that I'm going through in my life is really hard, but I'm doing it to the best of my ability and I say to the best of my ability because I don't know every damn thing. I would like to think that I know everything, but I really don't, and the truth be told, I'm not trying to know everything. I used to think when I was a kid that I wanted to read people's minds, but with having a psychic ability, that is hard enough. So imagine me actually being able to read people's minds. I firmly believe I would end up in somebody's nut house somewhere. So no thanks for that gift. They can keep that. Spirit, y'all, I'm telling y'all now, y'all can keep that. Thank you anyway. But back to this twin flame journey, and I know I'm all over the place, and I apologize for that. Like I said, it's been a month since I've been on here, and I got a lot of stuff to get off my chest before I do this oracle reading. But in my particular journey, I'm what's called a divine feminine, and my twin is a divine masculine, and we've been on our journey for 1 year and 7 months. He is the runner and I am the chaser. But I think more recently I've become the runner because there were some things that I would put up with from him in the beginning of the journey that is an absolute hell no now. Like, example, the one thing I have observed intuitively about this journey is the runner chaser dynamic is a bit tricky, right? And what it has to do with is, and I can only speak from being a divine masculine. I can't speak for my twin and what he goes through. All I know is that when I love him too hard or love him too much or chase him too much, he runs. And running meaning not answering my text messages, my phone calls, even times where he would see me on the street, he would duck into a bodega or hide behind a car or just walk really fast so that I couldn't catch up to him. And I would notice when I would say, well, you know what, excuse my language, but fuck you too, I noticed that would draw him to me. So for those who are on the twin flame journey, I'm telling the truth when I say the more you chase them, the more they run. But the more you run, the more they chase you. It's a very weird and unexplained dynamic to most people. But to be perfectly honest, that runner-chaser dynamic will put you or can put you in a place. Because not everybody wants to be a part of the journey. There are a lot of people that are twins who choose to ignore the journey. That whole runner-chaser dynamic was put in place by the spirit realm to grow you spiritually and even as a person to live on this earth. And what my twin running from me did for me was put me in a place where I got tired of putting up with that. And then I ended up getting a spiritual download that was out of this world. And I really had to take a look at the fact that every relationship going back to as far back as 12 years old, yeah, I've been in and out of relationships that long, was the fact that every relationship I had ever been in, the other person wasn't willing to give me a commitment, but didn't want me to leave either. And this is what my twin was doing to me. It was to where I would be in these relationships knowing that the other person didn't want a relationship, but we did everything like we were in a relationship. Like I could leave my toothbrush at his house or some clothes or some perfume. I call them, and whenever I call them, they answer the phone. Unless they were upset with me, then I got ignored. And I accepted that too in my life instead of just walking away. But the bottom line is I got to a place with my twin where I was blessed to be awakened to what was going on in my love life. And when I realized what was going on, I was disgusted, but more so with myself. Um, I was disgusted with the fact that I had put up with being lied to repeatedly, cheated on repeatedly, um, yelled at and called names repeatedly, left repeatedly. This journey opened me up to my insecurities, jealousies, just being the kind of person in a relationship that didn't want her man talking, having a conversation with no other female. If the phone rang, I wanted to know who it was. And, if they went out with their boys, you couldn't tell me that they wasn't actually out with another female. And these were the kind of insecurities that this journey forced me to expose, deal with, and heal from. And the one thing I need people to know is whatever insecurities you have today, it could be about your body, it could be about your finances, it could be about a relationship, it could be about your ability as a parent or a friend or even a family member. When you make a conscious decision to deal with those, you have to go all the way back to your childhood. And this journey definitely forced me to go way back to some shit that I was hurting over at 6 years old. Stuff that I found out I didn't actually get over. It's just that so many years went by that I chose to tuck it away until certain things started happening in my present that triggered those childhood memories. And like I said, this has been one crazy journey. Another thing that I've noticed with this journey is I could be in the greatest mood ever, but if my twin is not in a good mood, I can feel that. I've been in my house and said to myself, today's a great day. It's sunny, it's warm, I'm in a good mood. Why do I feel sad? And then later on find out that he's sad about something, and vice versa. Another thing that I've noticed is that if I gain weight, he gains weight. If I lose weight, he loses weight. We like the same kinds of junk food, It's crazy. We think alike, we act alike. And at one point, we were even beginning to look alike. I began to take on some of his features, and he began to take on some of mine. And it was just it's the craziest journey. He could lie to me, and I could know in my gut, in my spirit, that he's lying. And that was something I used to always have to question in other relationships. Like, is this man lying to me? With this one, with my twin, I don't have to question whether or not he's lying or telling the truth. I just know, And when it came to my psychic abilities, him being a twin on type of being psychic, your senses are heightened times 20. So whereas I used to have to question if somebody else was lying, I don't have to do that when it comes to him, to the point where now, instead of lying to me, I believe he knows that I know when he's lying. So to keep from lying to me, he avoids me until he feels that it's safe to come back and talk to me, and then pretend like nothing happened, like he always does. Which brings me to the first time that I was ghosted by him. And that's another thing I want to talk about with y'all about this journey. It deals with a lot of addictions, and usually most twin flames have had problems with alcohol and drugs. And that's well, where I'm from, that's common anyway. But when you find out you're on a spiritual journey, you begin to find out why all those things that happen to you happen. So if you've had like a lot of childhood trauma and you know, issues with your parents and not feeling good enough growing up and things like that. It all leads you, all it is, all those things that you go through are to strengthen you and prepare you for what's to come in the future. Now, what that what's to come consists of, I don't know. I don't know. I have my ideas about it, and I'm not really going to go into that as of yet, because that's a deeper and actually longer topic and video. So I'll just run down some other things that I've been going through, and then I'll start with the oracle reading. And it's just been real hard, y'all. If you hear my twins, please excuse them. They are off school, so I'm going to be dealing with a lot of noise for the next few days. But the first time he ghosted me, right, back to it. Thank you, Spirit. The first time he ghosted me was on December 3rd of 2018. He just out of nowhere stopped speaking to me, stopped calling to me. When he would see me on the streets, he wouldn't look at me. And one day I said something about it. I messaged him on Facebook Messenger because he had this thing where, because I was considered the side chick unbeknownst to me until I actually got a friend request from this person he's married to. I didn't get it. I didn't understand why he did all those things, and it was so painful that I'm actually moved 30 minutes away just so I didn't have to see him every single day, because it was too painful. When we moved to our new place, I was happy because I didn't have to look at him every day. But it also started a cycle of drinking, not knock down, drag out, alcoholic drinking, but the kind of drinking I go to work, come home, buy a Smirnoff Ice, and it was always the tallest one in the store, which was $3.50, and I would get those, and I would fill up my cup with ice and drink, and this was to drown my pain. That's what I didn't want to feel no more. I didn't want to feel the rejection, the knowing that somebody loves you, but they're acting as if they don't. That, it just really bothered me, and so pretty much even when I moved away, it's like the pain followed me, and that's where the drinking came in. And then not too long after I moved 30 minutes away, I started to learn tarot, and that's it used to be my job working in demolition that took my mind off of things, but after a while it became reading tarot. I actually grew a passion for it, a love for it, and I still love it today, a year later. I started out with one little deck, and when I knew anything, I had about 19 of them, and being able to understand and interpret the cards was a beautiful thing. But there was still some blocks in my life spiritually, and I couldn't understand what was going on. Excuse me, let me get some water. And then one day, Spirit told me, you need to stop drinking. So I did, and that was a little over a week ago, and I'm thinking clearer, which puts me in a place of understanding of why I was told by Spirit to stop drinking, because truth be told, I needed to. I stated in this video earlier, I'm 47 years old, and I don't want to spend my life being a drunk, because that's what it is. I call a spade a spade. I don't know about anybody else, but I call a spade a spade. And that's what was happening. But for the most part, the spiritual healing, I appreciate the spiritual healing. And one thing I need everybody to know about spiritual healing is it doesn't all happen at once. Everything that you went through, growing up and then even in your adult life, it don't all get wiped out. A spiritual healing is not all your problems go away. That's not what a spiritual healing consists of. First of all, you got to allow it to take place, because sometimes we'll see certain things and think it's some kind of coincidence when it's actually spirit trying to tell us something. When you see those numbers and you begin to notice that every time you turn around, you seeing 111 or the number 222, 333, 1111, or the sequence that I've been seeing them lately is 212, 313, 818, 717. I've been seeing them like that lately, but every time that I see them, I Google them, and I'm getting a better understanding of what's going on in my life. So if you're out there and you see these numbers, don't hesitate to Google them. And how I usually Google it in the search is I type in, what does the number 333 mean spiritually in the beginning. Now I just put angel number 333. And today I've been seeing 333 and 555 all day long. So it's been on a little bit of everything. I could look over at a random box of cereal and look at the numbers on the barcode, and it'll say 555, and I'm like, wow, so that me going in my phone trying to figure out what that number means is a must, because I need to know if, there's certain moves I need to make. Let me see if I need to mention anything else. Oh, yeah. With the new moon coming on December 26th of this month, I will be doing a 30-minute reading for $12.26. So if you would like a 30-minute reading at $12.26, please make sure that you first make your payments. When you send me an email, you need to include your name, your birthday, and whatever questions you need me to pull some cards on. And all of my information will be in the links below. I don't even know what I'm going to name this video. I'll figure that out when I'm done. But I hope that what I said, what I talked about, actually helped somebody. And I'm going to pull some oracle cards for the collective energy. So I'm going to start with the energy oracle deck and see what comes out. Okay. Wow. This is rest and rejuvenation. So I am going to read from the book, because for those of y'all who watch my videos, and I know that there are many of y'all who do, when it comes to the oracle cards, I usually like to refer to the book, because you can give your own interpretation of what it means and then go in the book and find out that it means something totally different. So with these particular oracle cards, I like to, with all oracle cards really, I like to refer to the book. So rest and rejuvenation. This just ties into everything pretty much that I talked about as far as resting. So this was right on time. Okay. Rest and rejuvenation, relaxation, and meditation. In the upright, this card shows a man in a meditative and tranquil state. The message here is that it's time to relax. You may have been busy lately, but you should soon be finding more time to just let go. When you do allow yourself to go within and open up to the peace and wisdom that are vibrating there. This card upright indicates that there should be more leisure time for you now and more of an opportunity to engage peaceful thinking. So make it a priority. Your connection to spirit brings great assistance, but it can only be achieved through regular relaxation and meditation. Now is a great time to make sure you insert this gentle activity into your daily life. In many ways, this is far more productive than unceasing action. So, this card right here just confirms everything that I was trying to explain to you guys about where I've been in my life. Rest and rejuvenation. Rest and rejuvenation actually taking time to yourself to go somewhere, get some sleep undisturbed, do the things that you like as far as rejuvenation and relaxation. There are things that you can do during your relaxation that are very helping and healing to your body and your mind and your spirit. And one of the things is meditating, your favorite music that you like to relax to, reading. It could be anything that you enjoy doing. It doesn't just have to be about sleep or laying down. So, I needed that card. I don't know about y'all. I definitely needed it. Next card, we have community. I don't know if y'all can see that. If you can't see it, can somebody please let me know? And here we go back to the book. And just so y'all know, I'm actually glad to be doing this video and talking to y'all because I've been kind of feeling like a fish out of water. Okay. Connection with kindred spirits. This card shows 3 women celebrating, sharing ideas, and supportive energy. The lights in the picture represent your ever-present spirit community as well. When this card appears upright, it indicates as an association of some kind. It may be a casual connection of like-minded people, joining a club or community of some sort, or even a business partnership consisting of 3 or more entities. The time is right to make such new connections and to share intentions, whether they're personal or professional. Networking and community are important parts of the human experience, and the security and sense of connection can be beneficial to all. It's true that when several people join their intentions, it accelerates their power in the energetic realm. Receiving this card puts you on notice that the universe is sending some beneficial alliances your way. Like the Happy Family card, this could also indicate a party or celebration of some kind. Okay, well, that's right on time because Christmas is approaching and so is New Year's. But the community card just pretty much just talking about connecting with the right people and knowing pretty much that spirit is with you in everything that you do. And it's also about connecting with I don't know, for some reason it's just like 3 is significant. I just keep hearing the word 3, not really sure why. That could be for somebody, but yeah, it's been like a 3 kind of day. Remember I said a little while ago that I kept seeing the numbers 555 and 333. Yeah, I don't know, something about that 3. Maybe that means something to somebody out there. Please let me know if anything. Okay, the next card is man holding a coin. male connection in money, health, or value. This card shows a man sitting in a lushly flowering field holding a large, bright coin. For men, this could indicate an aspect of yourself and readiness to further your goals and receive increased health, money, or value in life. Great success is on its way when you take control of your own finances and act. This card upright could also reveal the assistance of a financial advisor or healer whom you already know or are soon to meet. This man is helpful and may bring sage advice concerning the action you need to take next. Be open to this person showing up with support, but always turn to your own intuitive guidance to weigh the information you receive. This could also signify a new love interest with a wealthy man or a man from work. So, somebody's money is about to come up one way or another, whether it be through your own works or the works of someone else. It is in the collective energy that of someone coming along to help you obtain some kind of financial assistance or give you some kind of help. But the one thing that is sticking out with me in here, and let me find it. How did it go that fast? Yeah, you pretty much, that's what I wanted to talk about. Taking control of your own life when it comes to your finances. It's okay to accept help, but do not allow yourself to be codependent. And that's really all I wanted to mention when it came to that part of what I read in that card. So the next card is the garden and the gate. Back to the book. Abundant prosperity, staying safe. In the upright, this card shows a peaceful young woman in a beautifully blossoming garden with colorful flowers all around. However, the gate to the road outside the garden is locked while the girl wears a key on a chain around her neck. This card upright bodes well for the financial scene. In fact, there may be a lot of money or other personal pleasures coming your way at this time, but be aware. The choice to stay in the seeming security of this lovely garden may actually be motivated by habit or a fear of the unknown. The beauty is enticing and worth enjoying, but you may not be giving your spirit the freedom to roam. While it's fine to amass a great deal of wealth, don't let it keep you from your karmic path or from living your truth. You have the choice to shift your focus, widen your spiritual perspective, and gain the world that is just outside your gate. So, this is basically telling you can't accumulate the kind of money that you want hiding up in your house or not getting off your butt and doing something. This is also a confirmation for me because there was a reading that was given that I listened to the other day that was saying that you've been in the back so long that when you finally get pushed up to the front, it scares you. And that resonated with me, and that may resonate with someone else. And I'm hoping that it doesn't, but if it does, you got to come out the house. You got to put plans into actions, thoughts into plans, and just grind and do what it is you got to do to get where you need to go. I'm starting to see what people are talking about when they when they stress to me that money is energy, because it really is. You attract the energy that you give out. If you're giving out a poverty mindset, that's what you're going to get back. And this is exactly why you need to be careful with what you think and what you say. So I want to pull from the Romance Angels Oracle deck for the love portion. What I did just now was the spiritual portion. So Spirit, what do you have for the collective regarding love? What is the energy regarding love? Oh, okay. First card up, soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate, is what it says at the bottom. Again, if you can't see it, please let me know. But someone's soulmate is out there, and you've been pretty much questioning whether or not this person is your soulmate, and yes, they are. So there's your confirmation. Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. So if you haven't released this person in order to clear your energy and take some time for divine timing to step into place, you might want to do that right away. Next card, attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So take the time and stop and smell the roses. Live your life, love your life, have fun in your life, enjoy your life, and don't let nobody stress your life out. Do not allow that particular kind of energy into your life, because it's hard to enjoy your life when there's some bullshit around you. Next card is honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. You and this person may be going away, running away, taking time to get away. I don't know. You getting ready to go away. And at the bottom of the deck is more confirmation. Calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations helps bring you together. So that also is a reminder to watch what you say, watch what you think. Manifestations are real. Law of attraction is real. So please, people, be careful out there. And that goes for anyone watching this video. Your thoughts and your words can manifest. They can come into fruition. So if it's bad and you're thinking about it, it can happen. If it's good and you're thinking about it, it can happen. So, please be careful. And so this was the spiritual reading up top. This was love. And this is the final message from the Mermaids and Dolphins Oracle deck. I love Doreen Virtue. I love her cards. And they sturdy quality cards too. They don't get all flimsy over a period of time. So Spirit, what end message do you have from the collective energy? Show me clearly. Whoever that is having excruciating pain in their middle toe on their left foot, please go get that checked out. I don't even want to say what I'm hearing. I don't even want to mention, I'm not, like I said, I'm careful with my words, but Spirit is giving me one word, and I don't like the word. So I'm not going to say it. Okay, here we go. First card up, friendship. Make a date for a play day with one or more friends. So here's some more confirmation that you need to get your ass up out the house and have some fun. And sorry, yeah, I hear you, Spirit, because this card is for me too. I have not really left the house that much, trying to get through the worst of the worst. The next card is Ready, Set, Go. And at the bottom it says, now is the perfect moment to dive in and embrace your heart's desires. So if that thing that you wanted to do, those people that you want to do that thing with, just get out there and do it and enjoy it. Next card, Healing Heart. You're a powerful healer. Keep up the great work. So somebody out here is healing either themselves or another person or other people, and you probably don't even realize it. But yes, that was a message for you. You are a healer. I don't believe that anyone who comes across these videos and decides to watch them, that it was by accident. Everything that happens for a reason. You may have needed to hear this message. And the last card is Set Your Sights Higher. And at the bottom it says, increase your standards and expect more for yourself. Don't settle. So the energy I'm getting from that is a whole lot of putting up with things that and people that no longer serve you. It's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to let people or that one person know what you're not going to have. You don't have to be nasty. You don't have to have a bad attitude. You don't have to curse, yell, scream. One thing that I found out in speaking my mind and speaking from the heart is they either take it or they don't. But if you're one of those people who hold back when somebody's doing or saying something wrong, just speak up about it. You don't have to be silent about it. I'm still stuck on increase your standards and expect more for yourself. Don't settle. That is a strong message for somebody, and I really hope you got it. With that said, I want to thank everybody for watching this video and listening to me, and I really do hope that I help somebody. Helping y'all helps me. And with that, you guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon. One more thing, tomorrow I will be starting with the element readings, earth, fire, air, water. I'll be recording and uploading those tomorrow. So I will talk to you guys soon. Good night.